Sanketi, Rishabh, hey Shivam.
Hi Amrita, hi Will, hi Shwendu.
Hi, Shivam.
And we're live on YouTube.
Can't hear you.
No, I said we're live on YouTube. So maybe Subhendu can say.
Hi, Subhendu.
Yeah, we are live on YouTube. Hi, Rishabh.
Sanketi, Rishabh, hey Shivam.
Hi Amrita, hi Will, hi Shwendu.
Hi, Shivam.
And we're live on YouTube.
Yeah, somebody has the YouTube running.
No, I said we're live on YouTube. So maybe Subhendu can say.
Hi, Subhendu.
Yeah, we are live on YouTube. Hi, Rishabh.
Sanketi, Rishabh, hey Shivam.
Amrita, I think.
Hi Amrita, hi Will, hi Shwendu.
Hi, Shivam.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. So we'll start in a few minutes. We're waiting. It's 9 now.
All the best, everyone.
Yeah, let's rock. LFG.
You too.
All the best, everyone.
All this best, yeah.
Hi, Shivam. Akash is also coming in. Hi, Akash.
Hello,
Hello. How are you?
all well.
All well. Cool. Thank you for joining in. We'll get started in a few minutes. We're just waiting for people to gather in.
Okay, done.
Yeah. Hi, Santosh.
Hi, hello.
Thank you for joining in.
Pleasure.
We are live. We have this closed room. It's closed room because we can talk to each other, and we are live on YouTube also. So for the larger community, we are live on YouTube, so people can just watch it.
Nice.
Yeah, and for investors and angels, VCs and angels, they are part of this common forum, so they can ask questions.
Got you.
Yeah, and we have a form for everybody, for our investors and partners. So there's a form that I'll put it across multiple times in the chat. It's basically all the 10 startups will pitch. They will, you can see what you can, how you can collaborate with them if you want to invest, if you want to partner. And for the larger community out there who's watching it on YouTube, you can actually see if you can partner with them, or you want to work with them as an intern, as a freelancer, as a full-time employee. Right? The idea, because it's Web3, the idea was that we don't make it a closed room only for investors. We wanted to make it for the whole community. Right? And we know everybody can play a role in the Web3, right? Either invest or contribute or partner. So that was the whole idea. That's why we called it as Community Showcase Day. We never called it as a demo day. So that was one of the things. Hi, Deep.
Hey.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Oh, good. Yeah, good.
So we have people joining in from Dubai also. Hi, Rahul.
Hi,
I hope
Rahul.
I hope this time works for you guys. We have kept it a little late in India so that other folks can join in across.
It's better for us, 7:30.
I know, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So we'll start in a couple of minutes, Rahul. Just waiting for other folks to join in. So I request if people can also put, just like the cohort participants have mentioned their company name, organization name, if others can also do that, that'll be helpful for us to address and bring you on to the mic. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining in. For India folks, thank you for joining so late. And we have folks joining in from various places. We have people from Dubai. We have people across the country in India. So welcome. Very hearty welcome from the Together team here. I am Shubhendu. I'm part of Together team and I take care of the Web3 initiatives. And few months back, almost 6-7 months back, together we decided that we should do something for the Web3 community. And that was where the idea of BUIDL Together came into existence. We wanted to give back to the Web3 ecosystem, and community is one of the important factors in the Together Fund. It's in the ethos of the fund, right? As we all know. And so what the idea was that we wanted to not only just do a few learning sessions, but we wanted to run a full program so that we help the Web3 ecosystem in general. And we realized that the ecosystem is very new. So there was a lot of mentoring, education, learning, guidance, coaching that was needed. And that's how this whole concept of BUIDL Together was created, with few nuances, few differentiating factors. It was not a run-of-the-mill program which a lot of places run, right? It had some of the common features such that we had learning sessions, master classes, but also we had some other features which made it very different. So I have quick some numbers that I want to share so that everybody knows what happened in the last 3 months at the program and the context is set, and then we will go ahead with the presentation. So my screen visible, Amrita?
Yeah. When we can see it.
Okay, yes, Shubham. So basically, the program highlights, right? It was across 12 weeks. So we started with a formal application process. We received 70 applicants. These were all 70 Web3 startups across sectors like DAO, NFTs, DAO tooling, DeFi, gaming, right? And based on certain parameters that we had decided, basically how good the team is, we focused a lot on the team. We focused a lot on if the Web3, the founders had Web3, you can say aptitude, they understood the Web3 ecosystem well. And one interesting thing that we did was that the cohort was selected by the mentors, right? All the mentors who were involved in the program. They selected the cohort, and that was done through quadratic voting. So Together team did one round of shortlisting, but the mentors decided who should be part of the program. So it was done in a very democratic way, just like the DAO, right? The Web3 fashion. And after the startups were selected, we took them through masterclasses with all these mentors. There were one-on-one office hours. There was peer learning, right from your how do you design your tech stack, how do you design tokenomics, how do you build a community, all of the important aspects of building a company and also building a Web3 company. And apart from that, we in fact were kind of, you can say, were in true build in public sense, so that we are always talking about the cohort in public. We mentioned them. We did Twitter spaces with all the participants so that they were able to reach out to the right set of partners in the community and were able to build their first set of customers and users, right? So that's what happened. We also had 3 community partners who helped us out in getting this community showcase day possible. All these 3 are community partners, communities in itself, OG Club DAO, Product House, and Superwoman DAO. 3 of the representatives are here today with us, so they will actually also talk about their community initiatives quickly and make us understand how we can collaborate there, right? That will be all from my side. Off to you, Amrita. If you can just introduce the fund and also what we do at the fund apart from BUIDL Together.
Sure. Firstly, would really like to welcome everyone. Very, very warm welcome to our community showcase. We have 10 really amazing startups here. Quite excited to show you what they've been working on over the past 3 months or so. right? I'd actually like to talk a bit more about the community perspective of what Together is doing, right? In terms of a fund, of course, we're a SaaS focused fund, mainly built from India. We're about a year old, right? And you can maybe learn a bit more about us on our website. I'll just link that in. But since today is a community showcase, I also want to talk largely about really what we're doing in the community aspect, right? In today's age and time, community is used a lot, right? And it is very easy to use, but the meaning in itself is actually really complex, right? So the uniqueness of the fund really is to focus on community building, right? So much so that in fact, one of the partners, Avinash Raghava, is in fact a community partner, right? This is how much importance the fund gives to the larger ecosystem, right? And for those of you who have probably interacted with Avinash, you'll really have an idea of the large the large impact that he's made in the SaaS ecosystem, right?
What are you playing with it?
So, the thirst for the fund to give back.
There is some background.
Yeah, I've muted him.
Yeah.
So, the thirst for the fund to give back is so strong that each member in the team works on different initiatives, right? One of the results of working in this space for so long, especially for the senior partners that we have in the fund, of course, Girish Mathrabotham and Manav Garg, right? Both of them run startups, Freshworks and Eka, right? Is that they've managed to build relationships, with operators and practitioners, right? So the idea is that with over 150 plus global operators in our network, we really researched on how best we could leverage their expertise and build out a zone of mentors, right? That we could connect with budding entrepreneurs. Right. So since we primarily work with entrepreneurs who are building in the SaaS product space, we identified cohorts we could work with and contribute to. Right. So in this space, we sort of built out 3 different, initiatives. We have Brainstorm Together, which is for budding founders in the B2B SaaS space. We have Source Code for founders who are building in the dev tools and infra space. And of course, BUIDL Together, that, is the culmination of what we're seeing today, right? So this is just a small glimpse of what we're doing. But, I'd love to talk more, maybe, towards the end, I can also throw a bit more light around this. But yeah, this is just really what we're doing. So very, very excited to see what we have today. And like I said, welcome all the VCs and all of our audience members who are watching us on YouTube live stream. Over to you, Subhendu.
Thanks, Amrita. So we'll quickly get started without further ado. A few house rules. It'll be great if you can have yourself on mute if you're not speaking. And the cohort participants, when they will speak, they have 7 minutes to actually pitch their demo and their deck. And there'll be 3 minutes for Q&A. So if you want to ask a question, please raise your hand. One of us will actually let you in, so that you can come on and announce your name, and so that you can come and ask the question. Let's try to keep everything under 3 minutes so that we are on time and we're able to finish it on time, so that everybody can run things on the schedule. And I have a form that I put it on chat. It's basically for you to explore collaboration ways with the cohort participants. If you want to invest, you can choose that. If you want to work with them, if you want to partner with them, they're all the choices there. And post the demo day, in the next coming 2-3 days, we will actually connect you based on your responses, right? So each cohort participant has that option there. So there are all the 10 options there. Unfortunately, one of the participants will not be able to join today due to medical emergency. The company name is Metawork. We will actually send out their information with the demo video in the next 2-3 days. There was a medical emergency at one of the founders, relative. That's why he's not able to join us. But we have 9 amazing companies with us today, and they've been toiling hard for the last 3 months, and along with our mentors. Some of the mentors are present here today, and they've done amazing work, and we would love to show you what they've done. And we'll start it with Surabhi from Dygnify. Best of luck, Surabhi. Up to you now.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Right. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Shubhendu, Amrita, and the entire Together ecosystem. Good evening, everyone. My name is Surabhi. I am founder of Dygnify. Dygnify is a DeFi protocol. Dygnify is a DeFi platform to connect digital asset liquidity to SMB-focused credit fintechs. $5 trillion access to credit gap for MSMEs is a very well-documented problem throughout the world. But this problem at the SMB level exists because the enablers and lenders like credit fintechs and shadow lenders themselves face acute credit crunch. This is because banking liquidity largely flows to industrial segment and large industrial borrowers. There are hardly any debt capital market that exist in emerging world. And third, TradFi's opacity and operational inefficiencies further make it very difficult. Therefore, SMB credit fintechs face liquidity crunch and high cost of capital. I've spent my entire career working in this segment, closed about $1.5 billion of structured credit, first as a lender, then as an advisor, then as a founder, wherein I built an MSME credit marketplace connecting MSMEs to various kind of lenders. My co-founder Nishant, he has also solved and built solutions for this segment, largely from product and technology perspective. In the Web3 world, stable coin liquidity has grown to 30 times in last 2 years. However, yields that are generated in various borrowing lending protocols for USDC or for any stable coin for that matter has been highly volatile. Therefore, digital asset liquidity is urgently seeking competitive and stable yields, diversification, and real-world impact. More over and above that, Web3 technology allows us to solve for a lot of inefficiencies. Number one, you can get global liquidity to be accessible without any leakages. Number two, tokenization, which enables us to build a new debt capital market and furthermore instruments regarding the DCM. Number three, on-chain data and decentralization can solve for a lot of existing inefficiencies that exist in TradFi. Naturally, there has been an emergence of DeFi protocols which are connecting various kind of RWAs to DeFi. The system and ecosystem at this point of time is at a nascent stage. This is the market map of the credit space. Largely, we believe that three things are missing. Number one, focus on a specific borrower segment. Number two, focus on a specific geography. Number three, skin in the game by the protocol. Having seen evolution of the credit space from early MFI era to the fintech era, what we have seen is that what worked is focus and skin in the game. Therefore, Dygnify is building its moat around these three components. Number one, we are focused on SMB-focused credit fintechs, which are providing working capital loans, revenue-based finance, invoice financing, embedded lending. Why? Because these are institutional in nature, highly reputed, loans are purpose-based, and also this asset class for last 10 years has demonstrated a robust asset quality. For the geographies where we are going to focus, this asset class is less than 1% NPA in last 10 years. We are sharply focused on SEA for GTM. However, emerging market is what we are going to focus on. Why? Because it is a very large market, high growth, and also highly growing fintech and crypto adoption. We are introducing this concept of protocol-owned liquidity as first loss up to 10%. This will provide early liquidity providers a 5x cover on their investment and also 110% collateral by the borrower, which is tokenized and available on-chain. This entire 3 points by which we are building our moats will allow us to build rapid scaling book and also provide comfort to early investors to come and participate in value creation. This is a high-level schematic of the protocol. These are SMB-focused lenders in emerging market. They borrow from the protocol. A part of the interest or yield that they pay goes to the treasury as servicing fee. Liquidity providers invest in a diversified set of opportunity and earn some return, stable return. This is another class of investor which we will introduce in phase 2 version of the protocol, underwriters, but they will take opportunity specific risk. High risk will give them high returns too. And managing this entire protocol is going to be a decentralized autonomous organization, which is a DAO built of credit experts, due diligence experts, monitoring experts, teams, and elements. This structure is fully compliant and cost competitive. As I talked about, these are our target geography. GTM is SEA. Phase 2 is going to be Africa and South Asia. And phase 3, we are going to target Latin America. All very large markets. The product that we are building, our MVP is live already on testnet. It's got 4 components. One is qualify stack. which is KYC, AML, decentralized identities, and social auth. Number 2 is onboard, which is on-off ramp and decentralized reputation score. Number 3, drawdown, which is all about tokenization. Number 4, repayment, in which we are building first of its kind risk management system, a Web3 early warning signal and alert system for investors. Some early traction, we have focused and built a pipeline of some of the borrowers who will come and transact on our protocol. These are kind of payment fintechs, again, focusing on SEA and SMEs, supply chain finance companies, invoice finance, providing invoice financing, and a fintech fund, which is focusing on SME-based fintech. A global and earth-scale problem of this size requires a global expert community to come and work with us. These are some of our early supporters who have helped us sharpen our journey from the start. These are, some of them are geography experts, some of them are expert in structured credit, some of them are due diligence, risk management experts, and some of them have advised us on our blockchain product. This is the path that we are taking. We are here. MVP is ready. We have a borrower pipeline. Currently, we are building partnership for liquidity. Next step is for us to go for audits and a mainnet launch. The North Star that we are chasing is gradually make the product better and also chase a progressive decentralization. With the stablecoin liquidity growing steadily, even if the protocol is managed to have a fraction of this liquidity, we can build a $1 billion TVL. Idea is to make a deep dent, a deeper impact by building a deep liquid credit market for emerging market SMBs. Thank you.
Thanks, Surabhi. You're right on time. Hello, everyone. If anybody has any questions for Surabhi, we have a little more than 2 minutes, so we can take it. Either you can put it on chat or you can raise your hand. Paresh has asked, how can we prevent against Terra kind of collapses? Surabhi.
Yeah, sure. Sure, good question. So basically, Terra was entirely based on an algorithmic stablecoin. But if you notice, our focus is on build the entire system on a stablecoin like USDC, which is completely backed by USD deposit. So USDC is a stablecoin which is basically floated by Circle, Coinbase, and couple of more consortium players. And it is completely based by reserves in USD coin. It is audited by Grant Thornton each week, and audit report is also published. So with this stability that this stablecoin provide, we can avoid Terra kind of collapse, which happened in the past.
Great, cool. We will take another question, last question. We have another minute. Anybody, if any questions, you can put it on chat. Okay, Akshay says great presentation. Thank you, Surabhi. I guess we are right on time. So we have up Kaushik from Safient next. Kaushik, are you ready?
Yes. Also.
Yeah, great. Let's start.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we can see the screen.
All right. Hey guys, good evening. I think it's late in night for a lot of people. Thanks for joining. So my name is Kaushik. I'm from Safient. So at Safient, we work on the problems pertaining to the recovery and inheritance in the crypto and digital space in general. So I'm sure all of us can agree that this basically the decentralization, crypto and digitization has given us a lot of power or freedom for individual in terms of ownership of digital asset and information. But at the same time with this power, right? So there is a tremendous amount of challenge as well as responsibility regarding how to ensure the management of these assets and information, as well as recovery of these assets and information if something unforeseen event happens. And so the existing solution this crypto space has right now, or the decentralization space has right now, through the banks or custodial institutions like banks, estate planning attorney, or appointing trusted institutions. So the other mechanisms that are available through our crude solution, such as writing it in a piece of paper, keeping in some physical paper, or backing up in a drive where it's lot unsafe than the other methods. So this creates a lot of other vulnerability in terms of theft and as well as loss of access. So this particular problem, onboarding problem, is something not new. A lot of people have been talking about it, including CZ from CEO of Binance has recently pointed out in one of his interview that wallet recovery and inheritance is one of the hardest problem right now, which is preventing the mass adoption of this crypto or decentralization. So at Safient, we closely associate with this particular problem, and we believe that a digital as well as a non-custodial recovery and inheritance is the solution, which has to be secure as well as convenient for anybody to use. And so that's why we developed a protocol. So in this protocol, we ensure that there is something called as a digital safe. We call it as a Safient safes. And this particular safe can be recovered or inherited with two things. One is exactly at this right event, as well as by the right beneficiary. So those are the two things that we care about. At the same time, we focus mainly on three things: making sure that these digital safes are very much secure. That means these are secured by some of the multi-party computation cryptography techniques to make it much more robust, as well as we provide the claim feature. So that means this particular safe will have a claim event. It could be an off-chain event or an on-chain event that could be attached to this particular safe, helps in the recovery at the right time. As well as the third and most important factor is the trustless factor. So we ensure that this particular entire protocol is purely trustless. So that means there is no custody or an institution guarding or governing our protocol. It works in pure decentralization manner. So in terms of the usage, it's pretty simple. So we have like very few basic steps to interact with the protocol. So the first, the user will be just to come to our platform or a protocol and create a safe. They can appoint a beneficiary with the several addresses, and they can add a claim method. So these kind of like a claim methods could be in any sort of event. It could be an on-chain event or an off-chain event. And once that is set, so the beneficiary who is assigned can claim these kind of digital safe at any time. Once these the claim events are being verified, so finally the reconstruction will begin using our protocol at the right time to the right beneficiary. They get access in a secure manner. So to make this happen, we have a network. So we obviously creator and beneficiary are part of this network. And we have a trustless guardian and arbitrator. These are entities who are responsible for making sure that these verification of events as well as the reconstruction of these safe happen at the right time. So we have a strong economics that is backing our entire protocol to make it much more secure. So obviously the user who is going to use our services will have to pay a small fee to ensure that they get inheritance and recovery methods, recovery features. At the same time, the guardian network, or basically this decentralized guardian network, is incentivized for their active as well as fair participation. And in the future, so we have planned our native protocol token, which will add much more security to our protocol with the help of which will act as like a utility as well as a staking model. So this is like a high, quick market landscape. This is a very small subset of what we are actually trying to reach out. So as you can see, in 2021, MetaMask itself has grown to 20x compared to its previous year in terms of user acquisition, and it had 21 million active users during just the 2021. And this, as you can see, the non-custodial crypto asset space itself is like a 200 billion, the industry. So we believe that a lot of these kind of like tooling or infrastructure or this audience require recovery and inheritance, and these are the market that we are targeting. So in terms of the customer generation, we have obviously three main categories. So community is our main focus at the very beginning, as well as the developer edition. So we will make sure that there is enough validation as well as the traction, and eventually that will lead to the developer version where we can any sort of the existing wallets could integrate with our protocol to get much more scale as well as the robustness to bring robustness to a protocol. And finally, our solution could be integrated with the enterprise solution as well to provide wallet management, the existing custodial wallet management with the safe recovery using our protocol, and which will eventually build more trust and growth to our protocol. So in terms of the solution, these are the solutions that we have already built. So there is something called as a Safient wallet, which provides the recovery and inheritance solution, and a Safient voucher, which is a non-custodial way of gifting crypto, NFTs, giveaways, and everything. So this is currently in the early access, and the community is loving our product at this time. Please hit us to know more about this. And Safient Safe is something a digital vault where any sort of digital information could be stored and eventually recovered by their inheritor or beneficiary. So these are few use cases. We, in terms of integrating with our APIs, the existing wallets could integrate for the recovery and inheritance solution. So it could be desktop wallets, mobile wallets, and all those things. The hardware recovery, the hardware wallets could also use our protocol to store any kind of recovery instruction, which could be eventually inherited. And even the custodial, it could be MPC wallet, MPC wallet, custodial asset management, or even the general asset management could leverage our solution. So in terms of the competitive space, we distinguish ourselves with providing native recovery solution, possible integration with the existing wallets, and we provide even the APIs for the custodial enterprise custodial wallet management to integrate. So these are the solutions. So mainly, as I pointed out, focusing on community, developer. In our next version, there will be a pay-per-use model where the existing tooling and infrastructure could integrate with the product, and the enterprise will have the custom plans. So this is the current roadmap. So we have our network in the alpha test network. So we have our SDKs and solutions to be tested out with the community. We are getting much more traction through this. In the next quarter, we'll be releasing our beta testnet, where a lot of the node runners could onboard to our platform, so that we can make it much more decentralized. And eventually, the final the Q2 of 23 will be rolling out the mainnet, where we'll be adding much more functionality to the protocol, as well as do a lot of auditing and as well as run bug bounty programs. So we believe that we have the right team. So myself, I have an information security background, working in the Web3 space for close to 5 years full time, as well as my co-founder Raju Singh. He has a background of finance, business, as well as legal background to bring expertise into our solutions. So we are backed by some of these well-known advisories from some of the well-known organizations in the Web3 space. So that's Safient. So if you feel that this is something interesting solution to you and you want to collaborate or partner with us, do reach out. Thank you.
Thanks, Kaushik. We have an audience question. Does it use Gnosis Safe under the hood?
So basically our protocol is very generic in terms of recovery and inheritance. So how it works is it's an off-chain recovery and inheritance. So we don't do it's like so we don't use a multi-sig to do the asset management. Rather than we can integrate with existing any of the wallets. So yeah, so to answer you, it's an off-chain solution. So we don't use any sort of on-chain recovery like Gnosis provides at this moment.
Got it. Thanks, Kaushik. Anybody else? We have another minute to take one more question. While Kaushik is answering, Nitin, you should get ready. You are up next. So Paresh is asking, how is the recovery different compared to Argent?
Okay. So in terms of the process, so as you can see, Argent, when you create a wallet, you will be appointing these guardians, right? So there are two distinctions that we mainly point out. So one is that whenever somebody uses our protocol, so they don't have to appoint guardians. So it's like, for a particular safe, just like an Argent safe, you don't have to appoint a guardian. So we automatically appoint these guardians so that it becomes much more convenient for anybody to use our protocol for the backup or recovery. The second thing, how it works is that unlike Argent, where it's an on-chain guardian, so basically Argent is limited to currently it's on Ethereum main network, as well as the ZK Sync, which is the it's a layer 2 protocol. So these are limited. These are chain agnostic solution for the recovery. But what we provide is a chain agnostic, chain dependent solution. Those are, and we are chain agnostic, where we could integrate with any of these existing wallets. It doesn't have to limit to smart contract wallet. It can be any of these custodial or non-custodial wallets like MetaMask, Rainbow, independent of whether it's a desktop or a mobile wallet. So these are main two differences.
Thanks, Kaushik. So we are up with the time. Let's get Nitin in. Nitin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Okay, let's start.
Cool. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's visible.
Cool. So, hey, thanks Shubhendu and Amita for running this together bootcamp. It's been a great learning during the 12 weeks that we've had. So, I'm basically Nitin from Root, and we are here to sort of help creators realize their potential leveraging Web3. So quickly, I think all of us are well aware of how big the creator economy is becoming. It's over $100 billion in size with over 200 million creators. And we've also seen really good Web2 utility platforms in the likes of Linktree and Patreon with good support that the creators are seeing. But there are some issues, and you might have seen this quite around creators that you know. So basically they're still dependent on a lot of the existing platforms, and they lack the tools to monetize their work effectively. And creator fan relationships are sort of dumbed down to followers and DMs when it could be something much larger than that. And creators also have a tough time reaching the right audiences, right? And that is where I want to double click, wherein, where we've also seen a lot of greedy middlemen in the creator ecosystem where they take a lot of the revenue. So if a creator wanted to tie up with a distributor or a publisher, they ended up giving up a lot of revenue, and discovery and curation on Web2 platforms was not even incentivized. So therefore, it ended up going to the middlemen at the end of the day. And even on Web3, when creators started to leverage the platform, the decentralization, and promote their work, they're still finding it a hard time to reach the right audiences, right? So that's where Root comes in. And we want to position it as a social marketplace where creators and curators exist, and leveraging Web3, right? So we have the personalized storefronts where creators can showcase their work, bring all of their work under one roof, showcase and sell directly to their fans. And here, whenever the creator sells an NFT or a digital asset, we can token gate that and build exclusive access and benefits for the super fans that are supporting them. In addition to this, this is where we want to enable a social nature in the creator space by enabling curators to collaborate with creators and also promote their work in return for some income. Right? I'll double click on that again. So that's the unique piece that we want to drive in Root compared to a lot of the competitors that are out there. So a unique piece is that we have a segment called curators that we're trying to focus on. Basically, who is a curator? Anyone who promotes art or a band or a movie, anyone who sort of builds using their knowledge, supports these artists and artwork, right? So if you think about it a bit more deeply, you'll understand that these people are fundamental to the discovery of any artwork, especially in the non-YouTube and not Spotify era, because there a lot of the algorithms decide discovery. But if you take those away from it, curators are the essential piece to discovery. So what do curators get to do on Root? So curators get their own galleries where they can showcase their curation and also the assets that they own. It can be NFTs or other artwork. And curators have a smart contract to collaborate with creators, and they agree on a percentage where if the NFT is sold via their storefronts, they get a cut out of it. Think of this as the internet version of how art galleries work, right? And tying all of this together is on-chain data and the popularity that the artwork and the artist has, and leveraging the activity on curator smart contracts, we'll also get even more data points to sort of build a proof of popularity where we provide an indicative score. It's not going to be something like a credit score, but an indicative score of how popular, how valuable this artwork can be. So where are we right now? Our public beta is live. So anyone here who has NFT should definitely go check it out. I'll show a quick demo as well. So basically, we enable NFT native creators to bring all of their assets under one roof, build out their personalized storefronts, and we currently support EVM-based chains, and we are bringing Solana and Tezos soon. We've onboarded 80 plus creators en route, signing up some movies and music projects till the end of 2022. And the couple of big features that are coming out is the complete minting and selling stack on our storefronts and integrating payment methods, and also enabling Web2 to Web3 signing ups, right? So we have self-custodial wallets which are used against social logins, and we are also trying our curator POCs as well. So users that have tried out our MVP love us, and we've received some good feedback from the creators themselves. I'll quickly show you a demo of how this would look like. So one of the creators that had set up their storefronts. So basically, it's really easy to set up this storefront. You can set it up in a couple of minutes. You connect your wallets. We load all the NFTs across chains, and you can easily drag and drop and put it, right? So so there are multiple other creators that are engaging on the platform and are keeping on updating whenever they have more NFTs to showcase. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so many good examples that we have, and I'll just quickly show you how easy it is to, so I can quickly view how my public profile looks like. Add a new NFT, and that should pop up, and you can easily just drag and drop, and that's it, right? So very simplified way of showcasing and setting up storefronts, and yeah, that's where we are right now. It is the product is currently for Web3 native creators, but we are also like I said, building the NFT minting stack plus the onboarding of Web2 users using social logins. They don't need MetaMask anymore, right? So yeah, so just to wrap up, these are the three players in the network. So one is the creator, of course, where they get to set up their portfolio and showcase all of their work, and they can also monetize from their storefronts directly. And then there's a fans segment where they can collect and get exclusive access, and the curators who are there in the ecosystem to promote their work in return for earning commissions or even tokens, right? So the business model currently, we're looking at a standard platform fee for any NFT sold, and a 10% commission from our merchandising partners and premium plans as well. So we're also thinking of a token play later down the line once we acquire product market fit. It's a quick view of the roadmap. In the interest of time, I'll quickly skip this, but basically there's the MVP is live. We're building our NFT creation and selling stack, and we'll soon start building a curator frameworks. Who are we targeting? We're basically targeting two audiences, which is the creator segment, which is these segments are primarily underserved in the streaming and other era. It doesn't, but we are generally open to all segments of creators. But these creators sort of go well with the curator network, and these are sort of some of the curators and TG that we are looking at. Quick view on competition. Lot of Web3 storefronts, Web2 plus Web3 storefronts out there. But essentially, we've found the lacking of a good growth engine in them, where they've had to market their features to grow, which is where we're trying to build in the curator framework, wherein the curators are incentivized to sell the work of the creator, and therefore the growth happens. Quick view on the founding team. We are a group of ex-entrepreneurs who've had multiple exits. We also come with good understanding of product and tech, working in bigger firms as senior members of the organization, and we also have really good talented folks in our engineering team handling the blockchain as well. That's a quick view of Root. So we are also looking to raise our pre-seed in the next couple of months before the end of the year. So if any of you are interested to sort of in the product, feel free to reach out. And anyone who knows creators that would love to use a product such as this, do reach out as well. That's
Thanks, Nitin.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Nitin. Amazing. For everybody's information, Nitin is actually down with COVID. He just got the report an hour back, but made it. So kudos to him for an amazing presentation while he's also down with fever and a paracetamol. So, Nitin, with the interest of time, I'll just ask one question of an audience question. Curators have a fixed percentage of commission, or does it vary?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of a smart contract, right? Like it's something that you can decide between the curator and the creator. I think we'll also come to a standard percentage once we start moving. I think 10 to 20% is something that that can work depending on the value that the curator brings.
Got it. Cool. Great. Thanks, Nitin. Please take care. Have a good rest. If you want to see the whole demo, you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, you can log off and have a good sleep. Take care.
No, I'll be here. But
Yeah,
cheers.
great.
Thanks,
great.
guys. Thanks, everyone.
Great spirit, Nitin. That's the spirit of a founder. Cool. Moving on, we have Sanket from OG Club, one of our community partners. Sanket, if you're up for a quick introduction about the community.
Yeah, thanks.
And while
thanks, Amrita.
Yeah, go ahead, Sanket.
Yeah, just continue. I'll just take it.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so thanks, Shubhendu, thanks, Amrita, and thanks to Weather Funds team for inviting us here. Been lovely being a part of this initiative. So quickly about OG Club DAO. We are a community of Web3 founders, investors, enthusiasts. We actually started just as a community, and now we are also working on our NFT collection. So if I have to put it in one line, what we are your DAO gateway to the Web3 ecosystem. Done around 70 plus IRL meetups across the country and internationally. I've partnered 50 plus companies and communities. And I'll be not far to say that we are one of the most buzzing communities around. So we are also looking for contributors as well as partners. If you want to partner or contribute, please join our community. Reach out to me on Twitter. Just dropping in a few over here. So yeah, thank you guys. Thanks. That in the interest of time, I think I'll just put it over here.
Thanks, Ankit. In fact, OG Club DAO, Superman DAO, and Product House have been very instrumental in promoting the Community Showcase Day along with the Together team. And all of these partners have made it possible for what we are seeing today. Thanks, Ankit, for the quick introduction. Moving on, Roshan, you are up next. Roshan from Trikl. Are you ready?
Yes, let me just share my screen. I'll get started. Thanks for the opportunity of presenting. We are Team Trikl, and we are building the world's first mobile first blogging platform that rewards users every time they engage with the content, while the creators can own their content on our platform. Now, before getting into the details, I would like to introduce our team first. My name is Roshan Sharma, and my co-founder Shalu Pawar. We both are IIT Bombay graduates and have known each other for over 8 years. I am a Web3 content creator. I have worked with CoinDCX as a blockchain advisor. I have also worked with EY and World Bank as digital finance, blockchain strategy, and emerging tech strategy in South Asia, while Shalu is a Web3 full stack developer with over 3 years of experience. She led software development for and product management for Disney and their world's largest cruise lines. Together, we have also built an e-commerce marketplace for creators where we helped hundreds of creators sell their handmade products. In our Web3 journeys, we have participated and won in 5 out of 5 Web3 hackathons. Now, we are currently glad to be backed by Together Web3 Accelerator and Foundership Accelerator. And now being a creator and having worked with hundreds of creators, there is one huge problem for millions of creators, which is paramount, which is low engagement. And the current platforms are highly inefficient at solving that. Not only this, but the current platforms don't provide the creators with any ownership of their data and still charge 10, 20, even 100% commissions. And the value which is generated by creators and their users aren't passed to the users itself. So keeping all these problems in hand, and we targeted a very specific group of creators. Our focus is on bloggers. So why bloggers? Because there are 600 million plus bloggers globally. And when I'm saying bloggers, it can be individual bloggers as well as businesses. And blogging is preferred by businesses, especially when they are creating their own content. If you look at the blogging market, that is one of the highest quality content, be it Vitalik, be it Balaji, be it any top creator, they have their own blogs. And in fact, in the entire world, 77% of the internet users read blogs. But the caveat over here is hardly anyone is focusing on this. So this is a very underutilized segment, and we are utilizing it with our engage and earn, very unique engage and earn model, and gamifying the entire experience, bringing it to the mobile and using cards to make it very interesting. And not only that, we provide our creators with ownership of their data. We eliminate the middlemen using blockchain transactions. Thus, we are able to reduce the cost. Now, on top of all of this, we have built a very unique engage and earn model. Let me explain how it works. So any blogger can post free content, and that free content anyone can engage or tip the content creator in crypto or otherwise for that free content. But the magic happens when users subscribe and become a part of the community through recurring monthly subscription and get access to exclusive content. Now, apart from exclusive content, they also get genuine points for engaging with the content. There is an algorithm which we are implementing, which will help us determine whether it is a genuine engagement or not, and also help us determine each individual how much point they should get. Basis that point, there is a leaderboard which is created, and the top people in the leaderboard is rewarded. Now, if you look at the entire reading landscape, there has not been much innovation. So if you look at the paper tablets, now it's like just a digital version of that. So in Medium, which is one of the top platforms for reading, they don't give users any access to their engagement. There is no certainty of engagement. So Substack came, they implemented a newsletter platform where users got certainty of engagement by people subscribing to it. Later on, Medium also included that. Now in Web3, there is a platform called Mirror, which came into existence, and they built a layer on top of it, which is decentralized storage. So that way, creators got ownership of their data. But that's just a clone of Web3 to Web2 to Web3, and still, just this one layer made it super cumbersome. It's very difficult to follow along. It's super not user friendly. And apart from this, they are jumping back and forth between crowdfunding and blogging. On top of it, there is no way users can build community, creators can build community of paid members on these platforms. And the most important thing, the value isn't transferred to the readers. With our superior engage and earn model, we can work with any blockchain, any crypto, any NFT, anything. Because we don't have our own token, we can be multi-chain, interoperable, everything. This engine is super powerful, and that is how we are able to lower the fees compared to any other platform and still make more money than them. Now, the entire creator economy is definitely a huge market, which is going to be at least 3 times what it is by 2026. So if you look at specifically the global blogging market, that's at least 60 billion. And we will capture 10% of that in next 3 to 5 years with our superior model and a superior approach. On that 6 billion, we will charge a flat around 4% transaction fees at the minimum for every transaction that happens on the platform. And there are other revenue models, but just to simplify, this is the case. Now, our approach is to start with Web3 startups because they have an audience which understands Web3. They themselves understand Web3, and they are trying hard to build communities, especially during bear market. And they already have an existing market of community of 1,000 creators. And this is a great way. They are currently spending money in bounties and very inefficiently. So we will bring our pitches to them is, hey, why are you doing this independently? let's say there are 5 startups, come join us and we will give you 5 times the exposure of your own current community through cross engagement benefits. Next, we will also onboard Web3 creators and give them bounties, sponsorship, grants, or we can help them collaborate with existing Web3 startups on our platform to get started. This will incentivize, once we have more creators on the platform, we will have better content. The quality of content will improve, which will incentivize more users to come on the platform. Once there are more users, both the payment which they are giving, that will increase the reward pool, and the engagement will also increase since there are more users. So combined, these two will incentivize more creators to join our platform. And this 10x better, with this 10x better value proposition, our product is currently in private beta. We have around 50 people in our wait list. We are adding more daily. Our on-chain blogging platform is there. We are working on our engage and earn layer, building that layer on mobile. Our light paper is in place. In Q1, we will be launching our app, at least the MVP version. And to sum it all up, I want to give you one example that giveaways are a very powerful tool. In fact, giveaways, so our entire model is kind of like giveaways. So if you look at the world's largest content creator, he built his entire empire, Mr. Beast, he built his entire empire on giveaways. All the creators with whom we have interacted with throughout our lives have run giveaways. In our previous startup, we ourselves, in fact, with Trikl, we doubled the follower base of Trikl platform by running a giveaways and doubled it in less than 48 hours. So that's the power which no one is utilizing, and we are doing that. We are also looking to partner with to fundraise, and happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Roshan. There is one audience question. Other than low fees and access to content, are there any other value transfers to readers based on engagement?
Sorry, can you please repeat once again?
Sure. Other than low fees and access to content, are there any other value transfers to readers based on engagement?
Yes. So there are 3 models. I didn't get into the details, but there are 3 models in which anyone can earn. There can be reward pools which can be created, and the value. So users reading the content, if they lie on the top of the leaderboard, they get the rewards. This is that. That reward can be NFTs, crypto, whatever the content creator decides, and you will get that information beforehand. Now, this reward pool can be created by one of the 3 ways. One, with the monthly payment subscription as a percentage of that subscription. Second, for Web3 startups, they have the money and they are running bounties inefficiently currently, and they can just put that money in their reward pool and bring on users and give them value. Third, both these Web3 startups as well as these content creators can collaborate together, where the content creator is kind of like advertisement model. So a new type of advertisement model will be there, which will create that reward pool and create high quality content for the startup as well. So these are the 3 models in which we can generate reward pools. Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Roshan. Is there any other question? Anybody on the Zoom call? Yeah, there is another quick question. We'll take this as the last one. Is your private beta open for all content creators? That's a good question.
We are actually working with Web3 content creators at the moment. The major reason being the understanding and the frictionless onboarding which happens with Web3 creators. And our focus is Web3 startups at the moment. So yeah.
Got it. Cool. Thanks, Roshan. Thanks for an amazing presentation.
For the opportunity.
Yeah. So Arju from Streammoney, Yugal, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. You're up next.
Sure.
Best of luck.
Thanks. Hi everyone. Good evening. So this is me and Piyush. We are building Streammoney, a protocol to unlock conditional ownership and liquidity for NFTs. Right now, $40 billion has been logged in NFTs, and only 20% of them has certain utilities in the project, and rest of them are illiquid assets. So we believe that there can be, if we can make it transferable, there is a way to provide liquidity to the NFT holders. Presently, it is very resource consuming for developers to build such a protocol, wherein and also only staking is the only service where they are providing value to their holders. They are looking at as rentals, lending as a service, and there is also no standard to mint token gated access as of now. Whereas NFT investors, they have a liquid asset and they are looking at integration as rental services so that they are not relying on projects to open up such a financial instrument, as well as when you are putting it on a land, they are not able to exercise utility because often it is sent to an escrow account. So that's, and across they need a composability so that they can exercise or use rental, BNPL and loans at the same time. So, and then there is another entity, NFT owner consumers, which can be a borrowers. They are faced with a higher entry to barrier because they have a behavior where they are not Web3 native as of now, and they want to experience first, then they want to make a decision making later on. So to solve this, we have created a protocol which is escrowless in nature and can also provide composability across different financial instruments. This protocol can enable rental as a service, loans, and token gated access, and provide value to the token holders. So we intend to aggregate asset supply on our protocol, and we want to deploy this protocol on different blockchains. Right now, we are live on Solana DevNet, and once we capture the asset supply, it will go on to the application layer, which can be hosted by us, and as well as we will have an open API to share this asset pool with different protocols or the demand channels. The market is huge. It's a $10 billion, including in-game assets, metaverse land, lending for PFPs and collectibles, and the upcoming utilitarian NFT, which are set to come in form of subscription and etc. So I would like to highlight two behaviors which will make our case stronger. Splinterland processed 3.2 million daily rental transactions back in April. And Dygnify is a protocol which provides liquidity. They processed $200 million in NFT-backed loans within 2022. To capture this market, we have a go-to-market strategy wherein we partner with GameFi or any other projects to acquire their ideal asset and work with DAOs, gaming guilds, to bring asset supply in bulk and process transaction in volumes. Secondly, the DAOs and other project treasuries, we will get their liquidity on our protocol so that loans can be facilitated. Initially, we are beginning with peer-to-peer lending, and we build a community to map it to the relevant demand channels to match it up with the demand, and as well as get their retail asset pool on our protocol. The next set of utility will come in, and we have a token gated access where we can provide time expiry and use-based expiry NFT use cases. So we will work with devs to bring that asset pool on our protocol so that it can move on to, we can cross-sell different instruments to these users. Our business model is a transaction-based where we charge 4% on our rentals. For loans, we are charging on a 10% of interest earned, and for token gated access, it's on a per mint basis. The roadmap, we already have a conditional ownership protocol live on Solana DevNet. Our rental platform is soon to go live on Solana DevNet again. And we have done the initial work for conditional ownership transfer for P2P lending. The order book and others will be taken care of later on, and intend to process onboard initial 1,000 beta users on a platform. Later next year, we want to work on a composability aspect where they can use rentals, BNPL, and loans at the same time on our protocol and work on a peer-to-protocol lending later on. At the same time, we will extend on different chain, mostly EVM compatible chain, and drive a volume of $5 million. In the next half of next year, we want to focus more on the token gated access when these use cases will mature and overall process more than 50 million on our protocol. More than 60 million has been raised in the competitive, and we have a differentiation of a composability which is not done yet, where you can provide, users can use all the different financial instruments at the same time. And also we are focusing on a revenue sharing and payment streaming use cases. I have a product and growth background. We are two co-founders, Piyush and me, and we are brothers as well. I have co-founded Dukanshala in past. Piyush has mostly worked in a blockchain as a blockchain architect for last 4 years. And we are assisted by Mudit, who is contributing on a part-time, and we have a 2 freelance developer. So yes, let's unlock liquidity, let's partner up, collaborate in whichever way possible. And if anyone is interested, there is a QR code. You can set a meeting with me and we can chat. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Jugal. Thank you very much. It was a nice, crisp presentation. We had one question from Paresh. How is it different from Cardinal and Solana? But I guess you presented the answer. Anybody else who has any questions for Jugal? We have a couple of minutes.
So I can take that question as well. Like Cardinal is more focused on building these conditional ownership use cases, not going on an application layer. They have a rental and staking applications, but loan is something, and providing like composability aspect is not they are focusing on, which we are right now at the moment. So these are the differentiation at the moment.
Yeah, Paresh has a follow-up question saying, except loan, any other difference?
So there is a revenue sharing, which is not done by them. It's a fixed price rentals they are providing. And secondly, when it comes to revenue sharing, there will be a need of payment streaming because a low rental can be closed anytime because of the revocation mechanism in place. So we are taking care of all of these differentiating feature set, which will be required when these also start on the revenue sharing.
Right. Cool. If there is no question, then we'll move to the next startup. Anybody else who has any question for Jugal? We have another minute. So while we're waiting for the question, Aju from LinkDot, you're up next. And Saurabh, I guess you're there from Product House, right? So you'll go after Aju for the community introduction. Great. Thank you, Jugal, for a crisp presentation.
Yeah.
Aju,
Yes.
let's quickly start.
Yeah. I hope this is visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Best of luck.
So a couple months back, we had this very weird experience. We were trying to find somebody to help us with our white paper over LinkedIn, right? We ended up finding some 10, 15 profiles. Out of that, this one particular profile stood out. Like too good to be true profile. We thought like, why not get on a call? We got on a call. It's just not the fact that there was a completely fake work history. The guy thought Satoshi Nakamoto was a Korean boy band. I mean, how do you find people who knows what they are talking about, right? I mean, this is not just a Web2 problem. This is a world problem. Now we are solving this for the blockchain ecosystem. Everybody. My name is Ajuji Nair, co-founder LinkDot. We are building a unified reputation profile for the Web3 contributors. Our mission is simple. We want to make the work done on the blockchain ecosystem and the people who did that work discoverable for the world to see. Now you do that by having a trustless credentialing layer. Now the blockchain ecosystem does that in 2 ways. Right now, obviously, your financialized on-chain footprint is available for everybody to see, and the second way of doing this is by issuing non-transferable NFTs. The logos that you see on the right are the credentialing platforms who use non-transferable NFTs for credentialing. Rabbit Hole does it for education, Bankless does it for some courses, GitHub does it for open source projects, Autospace does it for DAOs, Nooks does it for HCVPen, etc., etc., etc.
Now, the beautiful thing about the Web3 is one individual will end up working in multiple protocols, multiple chains, doing multiple roles. And you have multiple tools and many more, 30 plus credentialing tools to use. Now, what ended up happening is there is no singular work history profile for Web3 contributors. Now, the solution for that is simple. For our mission of finding the right people at the right time, having a trustless reputation profile, the solution is simple. We have to aggregate all your credential or your reputation all over your ecosystem, over chains in one particular place. You aggregate all the on-chain credentials and achievements in one single profile. Our product have three main modules. One is obviously aggregate and showcase. You get to aggregate all your NFT credential badges, your course completion certificates, your POAPs, everything in one place. You get to issue and verify your DAO experience. Obviously, those data is available. We aggregate all of it in one place. Testimonial NFTs are basically similar to what you see in LinkedIn, but it's an NFT like me telling Subendu that like his mentorship has been of great value for putting this pitch together. Now, when you have the first two modules together, that makes a trustless search and discovery for contributors and contributions, the work in the blockchain ecosystem. This is how the product will look like. Our UX philosophy is quite simple. We want our profile to be a time-stamped list of your on-chain achievements and work that you have done in the blockchain ecosystem. The thing that you see on top is your activity streak in the blockchain ecosystem, whether it be the achievements that you have unlocked, the courses that you have complete, or the quests that you've finished, that will show up on your top profile, and you get to search the collaborators that I mentioned before. This is how the user flow works. Profile NFTs are a way for people to come on board to our platform. That's a gateway to our platform. That's how you sign up to our platform. The moment you claim your profile NFT, we already have your, since you are connecting your wallet, we already have all your badges available. Your profile will be ready for you to claim. Now, if you don't have the badges that you intended, you get to connect your wallet or handpick the badges that you want to showcase. And if you don't have any footprint that in your experience, then we have a third-party marketplaces where you can go and fetch these badges, which is available for you guys to claim. When you have that sorted, that's when the search and the discovery part of our product comes into play. The utility of our product are many. I mean, two things that stands out during our user research is obviously one is for hiring. You get to search for a particular task, a particular gig that you want to get done. You get to search which particularly that. And the voting, the governance in DAOs are obviously right now a little more financialized. We want to get it even definancialize the voting power that you give to these individual wallet profiles. And we obviously want to replace your LinkedIn bio. We want to take over your Twitter bios also. Why now? Like I showed some logos. Similarly, there are 30 plus credentialing tools available, and this just happened in the last 8 months after Vitalik's TSOP paper came out. We know the space very well because our first product was a credentialing tool for communities. Now, in the major chains only, there are 70K DApps currently, and 1 million is the total amount of active contributors in the Web3 projects. Out of that, 700,000 plus is just the active voters and proposal makers right now. It will be way more than 1.5 when you take into consideration like the social media handlers, the community managers, the business development people, and etc. Now, with these 700,000 or 1 million profiles available, there are already 10 million badges which are already claimed by these users, which is in multiple chains, multiple protocols. It is still very, 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 very siloed at this point. There is no unified network, and this is just the start of this credentialing experiment projects that is coming. This just happened in the last 12 to 18 months. We believe this is the right time to get into this reputation profile game. We have two main revenue models. One is obviously for the organizations to post jobs and like a premium bundle of features and for custom badges, etc. And second thing is, like I said, there is a marketplace for finding your if you've been doing 1,000 transactions in Ethereum, then you can avail a badge and zero knowledge badges which are available, and you can go and claim that. Now, these are done by third-party partners, and you get to we get a commission of that. Our GTM is, like I said, we have profile NFTs are a gateway to a profile, and 700,000 of those active contributors, their IDs are available. We are experimenting this in. We'll probably work with Crux here to to find these profiles and like this ecosystem. Second thing is obviously the core utility is Web3 hiring, and our holy grade of contributors are in the events and conferences. So that's another route that we are taking. Now, this is a very, very personal problem for me and others specifically, because I've been doing business development and community development since last 5 years, mostly in deep tech, smart city, and blockchain ecosystems, where my job is to finding the right people at the right time in the bottom of the funnel. This is an enterprise blockchain marketer, done multiple IEOs, managing 30K plus blockchain community out there. He's also he's what do you say, a full stack Web3 guy when it comes to he does also product, and he's also a marketer, and right now he's a developer too. Last 5 years experience has been in the mostly ABM blockchain enterprise marketing. So on top of the funnel, we understand this problem very well from the marketing standpoint, and the bottom of the funnel from the business development and the hiring standpoint, I understand this problem. That's the team, and we are college friends, and this is our second startup together. Vijay is the head of design. He has been developing, building communities and designing blockchain, designing UX for blockchain communities, blockchain products in the last 5 years. Srijin leads our full stack, and Noor leads our smart contract. He's also a first runner-up last year at Global. This is a quick look at our roadmap. Currently, our credentialing layer is ready to go. The end of this year, we would have the aggregation and the search and discovery part of things, and by the mid of next year, we want the full stack. We want to have the like the job posting and the premium features ready to go. Thank you, and obviously we are supported by Together Fund Foundership. It's a product that came out of our first product came out of one of the ISV's cohort. I'm also an entrepreneur in residence at Fire. We would like to work with you guys. We are still in the development phase. I'm sure most of the guys here are actively contributing to the Web3 ecosystem, so I'm sure you guys have a lot to contribute here. Scan this QR code, join our private beta. We would love to reach out to you guys. We'd like to build this entire project with you guys. And yeah, to sum it up, we are LinkDot. We are replacing LinkedIn for the Web3 ecosystem. We are a unified reputation profile for Web3. Thank you.
Thanks, Ajju. We have a couple of questions for you. So one question is, when distributing a badge, who pays for the airdrop? This is from the YouTube live.
Right now, we are bearing that cost.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. There is another question from Chirag. How do you capture a contributor's contribution to multiple DAOs in case the DAO is not distributing bounty via Dwork or similar app?
Okay, so right now, the kind of proposals that you would have made, the kind of votes that you would have done, the kind of transaction, very financialized kind of contributions that you have done, that's the only thing that we can capture right now. And if the reputation NFTs are not there for the off-chain work that you do in DAOs, that is not available right now.
Okay, got it. Any more questions? We can take one more question. We have some time. Cool, great.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Ajju, for a wonderful presentation. We have Saurabh from the Product House, one of our community partners, for a quick introduction and run through about the community. Hi, Saurabh, off to you.
Hey, Shubhendu. Thanks so much for inviting me to the community showcase. Amrita, Shubhendu. The whole Together Fund team did a fantastic job on the BUIDL Together bootcamp. The startups came out are really, really incredible. Cool. Let me share my screen and give you folks a very quick glance of what TPH is. Yeah. Let me know if it's visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Cool. So, hey folks, I'm Saurabh Karmakar, building India's fastest growing Web3 community, the Product House. It's an open and accessible Web3 community with some of the world's best minds, from founders, product managers, designers, marketeers, to builders like you. And we are always looking for more builders to join our community. Everyone here knows, right, like how DeFi has taken the crypto industry by storm in recent years with the promise of revolutionizing the internet. While many believe that mass adoption of Web3 is inevitable, many companies with various areas of Web3 have failed to catalyze that mass adoption of Web3. Admittedly, the Web3 adoption is a challenge and does pose entry barriers for the majority of audience, with one of the primary barrier to entry for Web3 adoption is lack of understanding and education about the space. Additionally, there is a negative perception of crypto among many people, which further discourages adoption. Until these barriers are reduced, mass adoption cannot take place, and Web3 promises to change that internet as we know it, and we all are building. But right now, most don't know it's a fad or the revolution. So we at the product house are making Web3 accessible by giving everyone a chance to learn and build together. We aim to onboard hundreds and thousands of users on our community to learn about decentralized Web3 world and transition into this whole new realm in 3 simple steps: learn, earn, and build. If I had to sum it up in one sentence about what TPH is a community of Web3 enthusiasts where we enable them to learn, earn, build, and grow together. We have been working with and helping Web3 stalwarts like Polygon, Aave, Cello, MetaMask, Filecoin, and more, as well as other 20 plus great projects like Pillow, Obvious, FanTiger, Wise, and etc. to expand their reach in the Web3 ecosystem by creating awareness and fostering adoption for our ever-growing 50K plus community member. We are always keen to partner with great Web3 startups by providing a launchpad for them to connect with our vast community network and achieve their goals. If you are interested in partnering, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would be more than happy to chat. I will drop my details over chat and looking forward to talking to you folks. Keep building. And yeah, it was a great show.
Thanks, Gaurav, for the crisp presentation. Thank you for partnering with us and spreading the word in the community.
Sure.
Rishabh, you are up next. Rishabh from StationX.
Hi. Thanks, Shubhendu. Thanks for having me here. I will just start sharing the screen.
Sure.
A very good evening, everyone. I'm Rishabh. I'm the co-founder and CEO at StationX. At StationX, we are building a protocol where communities can come together, have a common pool of capital and use it towards a common goal, and govern it together, right? So any sort of an implication where a community comes together, pools some money and, uses it towards a common goal, they can do it on StationX. How did we come across this problem? I was investing in Web3 since 2017, 2018. 2017-18 was an ICO boom, and I used to invest with these small pools, syndicates, Telegram communities, where I did not know who was bringing the allocation. And these allocation essentially used to be like 100K, 50K odd allocations, wherein people people used to get in with small capital, like $50, $500 or $1,000. And all of this was done on chain, where the funds were sent to the individual's wallet. So there was no community ownership. I did not have ownership of my fund. I used to just send it to someone anonymous I did not know. And they used to forward it to the project, get returns, forward the returns back to people. All of this was done manually. And all of it was managed on spreadsheets. So I, as an investor, if I was investing with 20 different communities, I would have to keep track of 20 different spreadsheets. And if some community goes an extra mile and goes ahead to set up a smart contract, distribute governance tokens or share tokens, they would have to go through a high setup cost, maintenance cost. So this was my first stint at communities coming together to pool capital and doing things together. Fast forward to 21, I got to know that there are different kinds of communities and different kinds of use cases being solved by communities coming together, pooling capital and solving some sort of a problem. And these are different kinds of implications, or these are different kinds of applications of communities doing together, like investing, like probably starting a cult, like giving out grants and so on and so forth. So that's when I understood that the problem is big and this was still existing and highly unorganized. So we came up with StationX, wherein anyone can just come on chain, use the protocol, deploy their DAO or deploy their community pool in under 60 seconds. The next step is to invite members. They can just share a link to invite members, accept their contribution, and the dashboard gives them access to a governance module where they can govern assets together and do things, right? All from the same dashboard, and all with ownership, with proper ownership, all non-custodial. So, everyone is safe over there. How does it work? essentially the first step is you pick a name for your community. Second step is you choose a template. So the idea behind the protocol is that you should be able to deploy in whichever use case do you fall. If you fall under investment as a use case, you should be able to just select the investment template and deploy your pool right there in 60 seconds. Likewise, if you want to do grants, you can do that by just choosing a grant template and so on and so forth. The third and the final step is to set your parameters, like how you want to gate your community. Either is it through ERC20 or it is through NFTs, how you want to set your governance, and what are your treasury rules like. So 3 steps, your pool is set and you get an access to the dashboard. This is how the dashboard looks. This is the invite link that you can share. There are proposals. There's a widget for proposals. So anyone can raise proposals and vote on these proposals. And this widget ensures that people are engaged whenever a proposal is raised. You can see all the pool assets here. You can see the collectibles, and there are a couple of other things that you can do. How are we going to win this? There are a couple of tools in the market. We let you do this in the easiest interface. We let you do this in under 60 seconds. Inviting members is as easy as sending an invite link, or you can whitelist your members to have selected members inside the pool. Governance, there's a simple module of governance. You do not need to go through the hassles of snapshot, which essentially makes governance complicated. There's flexible token gating. The treasury is managed on top of Gnosis Safe. So it is super secure. We do not have any custody of your funds. And there are a lot of engagement features being built around engaging communities, because engagement is one of the biggest problem for DAOs and Web3 communities right now. So we are working with Notify to build notifications. So you can create custom notifications when a transaction is done, or when a proposal is raised, or when an investment opportunity comes to the pool. The market is pretty big. Currently, $150 billion are stored in treasuries across Web3. Most of these are in multi-sig on Gnosis. Some of these are on contracts, some of these are on individual wallets, and some on centralized exchanges. So the market is about $150 billion. How we want to capture value, we want to charge 1% of the treasury that is held on StationX. And our core revenue model is going to be a SaaS model, where we charge people for the premium features, or for the add-on features that they take for engagement of communities, like being able to send notifications, being able to drop proof of participation, NFTs, and so on and so forth. So we are building a whole model around the SaaS pricing. How we are different from Syndicate. A lot of people compare us to Syndicate, but we are quite different from Syndicate. Syndicate is just focused on investment clubs based out of US. They have a limit of 99 members. On Syndicate, you can actually get funds from people on your personal wallet. So it is not completely decentralized. There's no voting. They encourage you to do voting and governance on Telegram and Discord. It cannot be white labeled. There is no member engagement. And the most important thing that all of these investment organizations look for is maybe able to charge a performance fee, or a management fee, or a carry fee, right? That is not there on most of the tools. So all of those things you can do on StationX. GTM is pretty simple. We want to first go vertical. We want to first tap into the investment organization market, where we are starting with degen pools, syndicates, angel networks. The next in line would be investment DAOs, VC DAOs, funds, and NFT collectives. And then we want to go horizontal into other templates or other categories like impact DAOs, grant DAOs, NFT gated communities, and so on and so forth. So, sorry. On the product roadmap, we are starting with a MVP, which allows anyone to spin out an investment pool or an investment organization in under 60 seconds. The next in line is to create utility tools for these organizations, like exit mechanism, notifications, and gasless transactions. The third phase is around engagement, where people would be able to do token gated video conferencing. They would be able to collaborate and raise proposals, and they would be able to do POP drops to its community members. And fourth phase is moving towards a protocol, where we want people to start using our SDKs and extensions to be able to spin out a pool or a DAO on top of any Web3 application. Apart from that, there's a template builder that we are looking to build, and the template builder would allow anyone to just build a template and contribute the same to the protocol. So we do not have to essentially build out all the n number of templates that will exist going forward. Apart from that, there's an explore marketplace that we are looking to integrate with, where people can trade secondary DAO tokens or secondary community tokens from different DAOs and Web3 organizations. In terms of support, we've received grants from Polygon DAO, Aave Grants DAO, Filecoin. These are the 3 ecosystems that have supported us so far. We are currently a part of Kernel Block 7, which is a cohort for Web3 founders and folks in Web3. And of course, BUIDL Together and Shubhendu have been supporting us from day one. We've just started our pre-seed. We're raising the first round right now. So any VCs, any angels out here who would want to first give the platform a try, because you could really use this to spin out your syndicate and probably invest in deals that you generally do. So I would love to have some private beta testers from here. We are currently in private beta, and a couple of pools are testing out the product, deploying between 200K to 2 million in capital. A bit on the team, there are 4 of us, 4 founders. All of us come from the same university, IIIT Bhubaneswar. All of us from comp science backgrounds. This is our 3rd startup. First was in university. Second was a services business, which we scaled to about $1 million in revenue in about 18 months. And then we shut that down to completely move into Web3. And that's when we started joining different communities and plan to solve this problem. Quickly, I can, if I have some time, Shubhendu, I can show you the demo. It will not take more than a minute. So here, if you see the dashboard, you can essentially see the pools or the syndicates that you're a part of, either as an admin or as a member, right? Now, what I can go on to do is I can create a club. I can create BUIDL Together DAO. Let's say this is an internal DAO for BUIDL Together teammates. 3 steps, your DAO will be set. The next step is to choose the template. These are some templates that just to show right now, our GTM is only focused around investment DAOs and investment organizations. The 3rd step and the final step is to select how I want to gate my community. So I can select like a non-transferable ERC20. This makes it a private pool where the tokens cannot be listed in the market. You will have to burn the tokens to take an exit. Transferable ERC20 makes it a public pool. So you can say you can build models like Seed Club, or you can build models like Global Coin Research and a couple of other public VC DAOs out there. And with NFTs, with transferable NFTs, you can create like any other NFT project. And with non-transferable NFTs, you can create models like Orange DAO, where you have like a lifetime membership with a soulbound token. So I will select a non-transferable ERC20. I can just set my governance to something. This makes it a highly trustless, decentralized, and a permissionless pool. The final step is to set rules around my deposit. I want to close deposits on 31st. I'm raising a minimum of 100 and a maximum of 1,000 per member. And let's say we are raising $100,000, and that's it. On clicking of next, you basically do a smart contract interaction and your pool gets deployed. This usually takes 2 minutes. However, I have one created right now. So this is how the dashboard looks. Once your pool is created, you have like 100,000 tokens to be minted. There is 0 deposit right now. So you can click on this deposit button and deposit some funds. In case you guys want to test out, or you want to play around with this, I'm just sharing the invite link here so that you can maybe deposit, get some test USDC from this faucet, get some test Ether, and you will be able to deposit. Finally, on the proposal, what we've done is as a part of these templates, we've built out commands that these DAOs or these organizations will need on a day-to-day basis. So if you select like an action proposal, you can create, you can write around this proposal, and you can choose commands that you need on a day-to-day basis, like distributing dividends to members, like rewarding a particular member, like updating governance settings, changing total raise amount. In case you are doing like a second round of funding from existing members, you can change total raise amount. You can send tokens to an address. You can send it to a company you are funding. As a part of distributing tokens, you can just deduct carry right here and select the token that you want to distribute. It will automatically distribute the funds to all the members of the pool in proportion of their holding. So this is all that you can do with StationX. Happy to answer any queries. How much
Thanks,
time do I
Rishabh.
have, Shubhendu?
No, you have you don't have any much time. So
All
it's
right.
not beyond your time, but that's cool.
All right.
That's fine. We had some leverage because one of our core participants, Saksham, is not presenting, right? So we have 1 minute extra for everybody. So we have one question that we'll take from the audience. Can a pool invest into other pools?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great.
So in case you invest in another pool, basically you get other pool's token sent to you, or you directly mint it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rishabh. Vibhu, are you there? Vibhu from Proton is next.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm there, Shubhendu.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. This is Vibhu. I'm from Proton, and thank you everyone for this opportunity. So at Proton, we are basically building infrastructure for decentralized apps to go chain agnostic, right? We all use Amazon, right? Now let's say if you go to Amazon and you want to buy a T-shirt, and then you go to the checkout page, and then while you're making payment, Amazon says, okay, you need to have funds in ICICI Bank, because we, the merchant, have our bank account in ICICI Bank. But let's say, but that does not happen, right? Like Amazon accepts money from any bank, right, to any bank, and that's how things are done in the Web2 apps. But in Web3, the problem is that if you want to, let's say, if chains are banks, and if a decentralized app is on one chain, and if I have my funds in another chain, I'll have to bridge and swap all of my assets and tokens in order to interact with the dApp. Now that's a very broken user experience, right? That creates a lot of friction, a lot of bounce, right? Why this shouldn't be the case if you are thinking to onboard the next 100 million users to Web3, right? So how we are solving this is by extracting all of this complexity of multi-chain world for the end user, right? By providing infrastructure to the dApps to take care of all of these transactions that user has to do on the back end. And the user doesn't have to worry that on what chain is the dApp on, and on what chain my funds are, right? So how we are doing this, we've created a SDK that bundles multiple cross-chain transactions, right? So if hello? Yeah. So if the dApp has, if a dApp is on a particular chain, and a user wants to, interact with that dApp, all the transactions of bridging, swapping, and RPC switching, and all of these steps can be done into just one single step. So user wouldn't have to worry about doing all of that things. And also our SDK allows conditional gas sponsoring as well, which is basically the dApp sponsoring the transaction fee for that particular transaction, right? That also has to be paid by the end user in today's Web3 apps. So we are three co-founders, Mohit, Garvit, and me. Mohit and me have previously founded a edtech startup in 2020 that we scaled to 25,000 users, and that got acquired. Garvit also joined us in that journey, and then post that we started exploring in the Web3 space. Garvit has basically worked previously in senior engineering roles at Zomato and Adobe, and also has been a Polygon fellow, and he's closely working with the Ethereum Foundation on account abstraction, which is basically the core technology that we're using. So why now, right? So account abstraction EIP 4337 is launched on Ethereum ecosystem, which basically allows smart contract wallets to be created on the blockchain, because of which all of this is feasible, right? Then a multi-chain world is a reality, right? So every day we are seeing different chains which are coming up, and then great ecosystems are built in all of these chains, right? So in the future, the end users won't be chain maxis, right? End users wouldn't care on what chain the app is. If the app is good, delivers a good product or a service, I would want to use it, irrespective of the chain that they're on. So that's the kind of future that we are moving towards, and it is very important to solve cross-chain, seamless, frictionless user transactions. So it goes back. Okay, so on a very high level, how we are doing this. So let's say if you want to interact with a dApp which is on chain 1, and I am a user which is on chain 2. Now, let's say there are 3 transactions that are to be made in order to interact with the dApp. So all of these 3 transactions would be done by Proton SDK. Proton SDK would create a smart contract wallet on chain 2, then bundle all of these transactions, send it to a smart contract wallet, which again gets created on chain 1 for the same user, and then that final transaction is sent to the dApp. So all of this is done in just one go, right? Similarly, if the user is on chain 1, dApp is also on chain 1, all of these transactions would go to the smart contract wallet, which gets created, and then it's finally executed on the dApp. So possibilities are limitless, right? So like across the board, decentralized apps would need this. Games, for example, right? So a lot of games only accept native tokens, right? And to get to that native token, it's a lot of hassle. All of that can be taken care by the Proton SDK. Then one-click staking for DeFi apps, the different pools and different pool tokens that the user has to get today in order to participate for staking rewards. Now, all of these steps that he needs to do to get to that final pool token can be taken care by the Proton SDK. And then shopping cart for NFT marketplaces, right? So let's say for a game, I have to buy 5 NFTs. Now I have to individually go and buy each NFT and do the transaction, and then bridge swap and do all of those things 5 times. Now with Proton SDK, a cart can be created. You just add those 5 NFTs, and all of the transactions that needs to be done would be done in just one single go, like magic. So the traction so far, so 20 days back, we launched our SDK on testnet. Already 30 plus developers from different dApps are already using our SDK for bundling transactions. And then we are also closely working with a couple of dApps like Arcana Network to deploy a bundling solution. And then for gasless, a lot of games have shown interest. Play3 Club, which has famously introduced this Elon Musk game on Polygon, is also now using our conditional gas SDK. Soon to use our conditional SDK. And then we won some hackathons and got some grants. We were overall winners in CoinDCX Unfold Hackathon. Then we were also winner in infra category for Polygon BUIDL. And then we received some grants from Starknet and ETH India. So I go to market is pretty straightforward. 4 primary things that we'll be focusing on. The first one would be partnership with developer platforms like Arcana Network, who have a wide range of developers working with them, introduce our SDK to them, make them see how useful it is, and then working with new L1 L2 ecosystems like Starknet, which are creating a lot of good dApps, but not a lot of users are on these chain sites, so they would want liquidity from across chains. So it would make a lot of sense for these ecosystems. And then going to conferences and hackathons, making relationship with different apps, and then creating a lot of content and developer education around account abstraction, smart contract wallets, how it's got more benefits over externally owned account wallets like MetaMask, right? That's where the future would move. But if I talk about revenue streams, there are 3 things that we are focusing on. One would be the B2B revenue, which would be that all of these dApps would be paying us for our paymaster and bundling SDKs. Then bundlers and paymasters. So these are basically middleware layer that are important for all of these transactions to be bundled and to be sponsored. Think of it as a transaction fee for each transaction, so that would be collected by Proton. And then going for enterprise solutions, right, like custom APIs and custom services to some of the dApps. So yeah, that's about it. We are currently looking for good investors that can align with a long-term vision, and would be more than happy to answer any questions that we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivu, for a crisp presentation. We have one question from the YouTube live. How fast will the whole process work? Will the user experience be as smooth as using same chain transactions?
Yeah, so actually, so the time taken would be similar to what the user, probably because the user would have to go and figure out bridging and swapping, what bridge to use, where to get the native token. That whole process might take the longer time, but if we just talk about the transaction time, it would be similar to what the user would have to do when going it externally and doing it manually, right? Because we are just bundling all of those steps and automating it on the back end. Sorry, what was the second part of the question, Subhendu?
Will it be as smooth as doing a same chain transaction?
Yes, it would be. The user wouldn't get to know that all of these. So we'll just inform them that all of these things would be done, but it would be very smooth transaction process.
Got it. Cool. Anybody else? Any questions? We have 1 minute left. We can take one more question. While people are getting ready, everyone, we have a form where you can actually request for collaboration. We'll put the form once more. You can go there, pick up your startup that you like, and you can either explore investment opportunities, you can explore partnership, you can explore contribution, or any of these three things, or all of these three things, right? So feel free to do that. We have another question from Santosh, Foundership. Are you composing on top of another multi-chain like router or your own?
So on the back end, we'll be using some of the already existing bridges. What we are basically doing is just extracting all of those activities for the user on the back end, right? So on the back end, we might be using bridges like router and other bridges which are suitable. So we'll basically give the user the option of choosing between security and how fast the transaction they want to get done and things like that. And then on the back end, we'll be using some of these bridges.
Good. Thanks, Deepu. That'll be the last question.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Shubhendu. Thank you, everyone.
So we have the last presentation from Atharv from Crux. Atharv, are you there?
Yeah. Hi, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, let's get
sharing my screen now. I hope it's on.
Yes, I can see it.
Great. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Atharva from Crux here. We are reimagining Web3 marketing. A little bit about the team. We are 3 co-founders. All of us met at IIT Bombay and have known each other for over 4 years now. We started out with building a social initiative in the middle of the pandemic. Then we built a real money gaming platform last year. And for the last 1 year now, we've been actively involved in Web3. We started out with helping gaming founders transition smoothly to Web3. And that's how we've been involved in the gaming space. So through these conversations over the last 6 months, we ended up speaking to a lot of founders and marketers in the Web3 space. And the single biggest observation in these conversations was that acquiring users is the biggest problem any Web3 project is facing today. Primarily because all of the traditional channels that were working in Web2 are no longer working in Web3. For example, Google ads and Facebook ads, which was a very big channel, doesn't tell you anything about the on-chain identity of the user. So somebody that you're targeting via Google or Facebook ads, there is no way to know if they are actually valuable to you as an on-chain user, right? Secondly, other channels like influencer marketing or partnerships, they're simply not scalable. They are very expensive. And thus what projects have ended up doing is they've spent tons of money in marketing, and all they've received in return is very low ROI, high customer acquisition cost, and overall a lack of product market fit, so as to say. And this problem is only going to grow every day that we spend in Web3. On one hand, we have this huge developer activity, over 2,000 games being built, tons and billions of dollars of VC money flowing in, and as and when these projects are ready to launch, they are going to end up spending a lot of money on marketing. On the other hand, we have a lot of user adoption happening on Web3, but still there is no clear link between the marketing resources on one hand and the on-chain users on the other. So there is a clear white space in how Web3 growth should work. And we think that the solution to such a big problem is to completely reimagine and reinvent how marketing works in the Web3 world. So to do this, we took a step back and we want to leverage the single biggest tool that we have at our disposal, which is on-chain data. We want to leverage this on-chain data to find out more about the transaction that every wallet does. Basis this data, we want to label every wallet, right? These labels will actually tell us anything and everything about the intent of a particular wallet, right? So eventually we want to be able to help the right projects find the right fit with the right users. To get started, we are helping games acquire users, and the channel that we are using to engage with users is promotional NFT drops. Our beta product will have 3 simple steps for any marketer who's looking to acquire users. Number 1 is finding the right set of wallets based on any filters that you want to apply, the kind of games that they are playing, the kind of NFTs they hold, the kind of transactions they have done. Once you discover the relevant wallets, the next step is to engage with them. Here you can customize your NFT campaign. You can play around with the content, with the description, with where you want to redirect them, and completely make it an interactive experience for the user. Once you drop the NFT in the user's wallet, the user usually discovers this NFT on OpenSea or Rarible, and they end up interacting with your project. We also offer end-to-end tracking of your entire campaign, right from clicks to opens to conversions to even who has bought the NFT. So this just helps marketers to keep on improving their campaigns. To tell you about one of the case studies that we recently did with a game called One World Nation, which is a crypto fantasy game. We helped them identify projects that had a similar audience. We helped them identify about 15,000 wallets which had really similar activity. They designed these interactive NFTs to target these users, and the conversion rates that we've gotten so far are really great. About 20 to 25% of the people have ended up opening these NFTs, interacting with them, and about 5 to 10% people have actually signed up on the platform after our campaign. And all of this is done at a really low CAC, so there has been a 50% reduction. How we are pricing it is like a SaaS tool where there is a flat subscription fee for access to the analytics, and there is a variable fee for every wallet that you target. So some key numbers here: we already have onboarded 10 Web3 games as pilot customers, and a lot more is in the pipeline. $7,000 in revenue already from 2 paying customers in just a span of the last 2 weeks. What we've done here, different from any of the NFT drops that you've heard about, is we've cracked visibility. We found a mechanism to land NFTs in the collected section, which OpenSea does not classify as spam and doesn't send to the hidden section. We've also, of course, gotten great conversion rates, which I think beats any other channel out there and gives great depth to the marketer. So the eventual goal here is to create a single gateway for Web3 marketing, enable the marketer to use as many channels as they want. Some of these channels we will build ourselves, for example, NFT drops or community marketing channels. Some of them we will integrate with existing providers. But the ultimate goal here is to drive all of Web3 marketing through a single platform for the marketer, which is Crux. So a ton of things in the pipeline. We are adding support for all chains. We are going live with our public beta very soon. We are also trying out other engagement channels apart from just NFT drops, which is community marketing, wallet-to-wallet messaging, and also onboarding Web2 users. In terms of the profiling of wallets, right now we are focusing on-chain, but in the future we'll also add off-chain data points and create a more comprehensive profile. We recently raised our pre-seed round 400K, which was almost 2 times oversubscribed. We've got some of the really supportive investors with us so far. And these are some of the games that we already have on board as pilot customers. That's it from Crux. Thanks.
Thanks, Atar, for doing a crisp presentation. That'll be the last presentation. Anybody, any questions for Atar? We'll take it and we can wrap up the session. We have a few minutes. Yeah, we have a question, Atar, from Nitin. What is the time to open and time to conversion that you have seen after the NFT drop?
Great. So actually, NFTs, particularly gaming NFTs, is something that a user may not open on a day-to-day level. They will only open the NFTs when they have some access to the game or they want to do a transaction. But what we've seen is the rates that I mentioned, the conversion rates that I mentioned, are within 1 week from dropping the NFTs. So if you take a longer time span of about 2 weeks or a month, these rates are definitely going to be higher than that.
Right. Cool. Thanks. Anybody else who has any question for Athar? We have a few minutes before we wrap up the session. Cool. I think Amrita, we are on time. We have 5 minutes left. We can wrap up the session. Thanks, Athar.
Super. Just give me 1 second. Okay, all right, perfect. So, I just wanted to do a small sort of, vote of thanks for everyone who's been here tonight, right? I actually thought it was a really interactive and insightful session, right? When we started this about 3.5 months ago, we'd handpicked, these 10 startups out of the huge list of applications that had come in. We'd actually put together a very solid filtration process, right? And it's really wonderful to see the culmination of all of their hard work over the past 3 months, right? And to see what they've built till now is actually quite amazing. Right. So I wish you all the very, very best with your ventures. Right. I'd like to thank you all for participating with so much enthusiasm and for bringing your energy, up until today. Right. The past 3 months have been nothing short of awe-inspiring. Right. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to the mentors. Right. We've had 12 masterclasses till today, and we've seen some amazing sessions. We've also seen mentors really handhold some of these, startups to tweak their products and for also putting their best foot forward. Right. I'd also like to thank our community partners. We had OG Club DAO and the Product House for all of their warm support, right, that they've given us to help amplify our cohort members and, of course, the community showcase. I'd also like to thank all of the investors that we have here today. We thank you especially for taking out the time, on Thursday late night and for spending time with our cohort members. And I'm fairly sure that you've been able to discover some interesting startups and founders here. Finally, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Subhendu, lead for Web3 initiatives at Together. He's been curating the bootcamp from the very beginning, and he's been working behind the scenes for this community showcase, right? While also being a fabulous mentor himself, right? So big shout out to Subhendu. And of course, last but not the least, I'd like to thank all of the audience members who are watching us here on our YouTube live stream, Web3 enthusiasts, founders, operators, practitioners for asking really hard-hitting questions and for cheering on the community showcase, right? So thank you all a bunch. And, I'd like to hand this over to Subhendu before we can wrap up to just say a few last words before we close the show.
Thanks, Amrita. In fact, thanks to you for being such a good colleague and supporting me through the whole program. Because you're always there, right, to run this. There's a lot of hard work that has gone for this cohort, and Amrita was always there supporting me in running the show. And we always knew from the day one that it has to be a community event. It has to be done through a lot of partners coming together, right? That's why we always called it as a community showcase day. And thanks everybody today here who is present on the Zoom call and the YouTube live. Being an amazing audience, we are on track to complete this on time, which is what is always in my mind, that can we do things on time. Right? That's a great achievement that we have all done. Thanks to all the participants, all the startups who did amazing job. We had done a lot of hard work in trying to restrict ourselves to 7 to 8 minutes of pitches. They've done it well. Best of luck. I think we have put the form once more. I would like to stress that the form is out there. If you want to talk to any of these startups, please feel free to fill the form or ping me or Amrita. We'll be happy to do introductions and take it forward. So best of luck, everybody. And have a good evening. Be safe. Thank you.
Thanks, folks. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
So